Hello guys and welcome to my video. So in this video I will talk about three things in phonology. The first thing is intonation, and then the second one is word stress, and the third one is sentence stress. So I will talk about intonation first. Every language has its own intonation, just like every song that has its own melody. It helps us to recognize the language that you hear in the same way as how we listen songs that have a melody. The first intonation is falling intonation. Falling intonation is the most common type of intonation in English. It is used in declarative sentence, special question, imperative sentence, and exclamatory sentence. The first example is, we live in Moscow. The falling intonation occurs in word Moscow. It occurs in the first syllable. And the second example is, stop it, sit down. The falling intonation occurs in word stop and down. And the third example is, what a wonderful surprise. The falling intonation occurs at the second syllable of word surprise. Falling intonation is used for asking and giving information in normal and quiet style. At the same time, falling intonation contain emotion like completion, finality, and confidence. After falling intonation, there is high fall intonation. High fall can usually used in extra emphasis in informal situation to express interest and friendliness. Like for example in greetings and exclamation situation. So the first example is, oh hi, I'm very glad to see you. The high fall intonation occurs in word hi and see. So the second example is, oh come on, it's very easy. The high fall intonation occurs in word on and easy. And the third example is, he bought a Ferrari? Wow! The high fall intonation occurs in word wow to express exclamation. And then there is a change of standard pattern. Change of standard patterns of falling intonation also has meanings. It's very important to understand what this change might signal. So the first example of this change of standard pattern is, he bought a new house. It is used to giving information. The change of standard pattern occurs in word house. It is a falling intonation. And the second example is, he bought a new house. It is used to express a surprised question. And then a special question with falling intonation can be used to ask for information. Like the first example is, what is your name? It has falling intonation, right? It is used to ask for information. And then the second example is, what is your name? It's like it is used to express an interested question. And then a general question with rising intonation, ask for information and expect yes or no for the answer. The first example is, do you have a car? It is used to it is a question that used to ask for information, but the answer that expect is yes or no. But let's see the next example. Do you have a car? In this following intonation, it expects yes as the answer. And then the next one is rising intonation. Rising intonation can express various emotions like non-finality, incompleteness, question, surprise, doubt, interest, request and suggestion, politeness, readiness, lack of confidence, and even insecurity. Let's take a look at the example. The first example is, are you ready to start? It's a rising intonation at the word start. It is used to express general question. And then the second example is, if he calls, ask him to come. It is used in introductory praise. And then the third example is, does he speak English or German? It is used in alternative question. And the next example is, Tom, could you help me please? It is used in direct address. And then there is fall and rise intonation. Fall rise may be used instead of the normal rising tone, just like before. The example is, if we don't act very fast, we may lose everything. The fall rise intonation occurs in word fast. And then the next one is, there is high rise intonation. High rise can be used for expressing strong surprise or unbelief in a question. For example, what? You lost my book? The high rise intonation occurs in word what and book. It can be used when we can't believe the question. And then we continue the second part, which is word stress. All stressed syllables are prominent than unstressed syllables. And there is 4 different factors that are important. The first factor is the word stress are louder than the unstressed syllables. The second one, the length of the syllables. If one syllable is longer than the others, there is quite a strong tendency to hear it as stressed. And then the third one is the pitch of the syllable. Pitch in speech is related to the frequency of vibration of the vocal cords to the musical notion of low and high pitched notes. And then the last one is a syllable will tend to be more prominent if a vowel is different in quality from the neighboring vowels. So, before entering the word stress, let me tell you about three kinds of word. The first kind is simple. Simple words are consist of one morpheme like enter, deny, return, cotton, and potato. The second kind of word is complex. It contains one or more bone morphemes like affixes. The examples are singer, goodness, unlock, and many more. The third kind of word is compound. Compound is word that consists more than one unbound morphemes like greenhouse, handbag, overcast. So the next part is stress placement. Stress can be placed whether the word is morphologically simple or complex. And the grammatical category, it can be noun, verb, adjective, and many more. The third one is the number of syllables in a word. The fourth is the phonological structure of those syllables. So let's take a look in a word stress example. For the first one is simple words. Simple words have two kinds. The first one is simple words that have two syllables, and then simple words that have three syllables. The first one is simple words that have two syllables. For the example is balloon. The stress occurs in the second syllable, not in the first one. And it can be occurs in the first syllables, like product. It occurs in the first syllable, right? And then for the next example is simple words that have three syllables. The example is entertain, resurrect, and introduce. It occurs in the middle, that the syllable is heavy. And then the next example is complex verb. It can be occurs in suffixes like comfortable, wonderful. It occurs in the last syllable in suffixes. And then the third one, word stress that occurs in complex verb. The first rule is the first part of the compound words is adjectival. The stress goes on the second syllable with a secondary stress. And then the second rules for the complex word is the first element is a noun. The stress occurs in the first element. Thank you for watching my video and see you